Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to all of you. Tara, I hope you enjoy your pedicure. I'm not expecting a lot of people. I just made this stream 5 minutes ago because I was just reading on it. And I figured instead of me reading on it by myself, we could go through it together. I'll give you the basics of it and then we can deep dive the rest of it together. So far, it sounds like a very tragic story. Good. I'm glad to see some of you here. Hey, Jinx, Catherine, J. Kells. True Love has four paws. Lisa Durr, turning leaves. Jinx, Catherine, allegedly, in my opinion, Lisa Durr. Billy Sunday, Ludwig Jason. Yay, I'm glad you guys came. Lake Girl, Straight Talker, Going Solo, Tam, Jonathan, Time Traveler. What's going on with you, my friend? It's good to see you. Hey, Vanessa, RLA, Tammy. Yeah, I figured we could all use a break, right? I don't know about any of you, but I feel like we are at this point going in circles and it's not appreciated. So what's the point, right? Hey, Snowflakes, Diana, Tia. Well, it is appreciated from one side, but you get what I'm saying. This is a new breaking case. So I'm going to lay the foundation and then we are going to super sleuth it together. So I'll give a few more minutes before we deep dive it. It's actually really sad. And I have a feeling it's going to get big. And you jumped into this case? No. Well, this one, pulled at my heart. Lee the Bee, good morning, Stassi. Yeah, this one really pulled at my heart. So I'll, excuse me, sorry, still just waking up. It is a sad one. It's an interesting one, but I'm curious to find out. And I don't think we'll get many answers, unfortunately, another one. So, good morning, Nosy Bish. Brandy Wine, good morning. This one is out of Alabama, Caroline. This one is fresh out of Alabama. So basically what we have is there was a car accident. Okay. We'll just go ahead and get started because I'm sure it'll be repeated as we go on. I'll pull up an article for you all. Let's see. So what we have is there was a car accident, a truck. A truck crashed at high speeds going over 90. In the vehicle was the father, the mother, and a 2-year-old little girl. Over 90, they crashed into a tree. On site, the baby, the little girl, and the father pass away. The mother survived. She's now in the hospital in very critical condition, can't talk, all of the things going on with that. And at the scene, the detectives, the police, they spend over 8 days, over 8 grueling days looking for a 1-year-old baby boy because the family had 2 children. They didn't realize it at first. They found out after the fact. So they're around the scene for about 8 days. They're looking, trying to find this poor little baby's body. The speed of the car, the hit of the tree, anything could have happened. When at that point they discover this baby has been missing for months. Another case where the grandfather actually had custody. The grandfather had custody of these children. And he was recently arrested because he did not report the baby missing. So here's the poor little girl. God rest her soul. And these are the parents. I don't know why they blurred the mother's face. I didn't. I don't feel like she deserves any respect. But Alabama authorities are currently searching for a 1-year-old boy, Caleb Rowan Collins, whose disappearance came to public attention after a tragic car accident took the lives of his family members. Caleb was last seen on September 4th. September 4th. Now, in my opinion, this was a family unaliving. I think they planned this car accident. I think they planned this to take place, to take themselves away because they knew they weren't going to be able to answer what happened to this baby. So the situation unfolded on December 8th when his father, Stephen Bradley Collins, 40, and his 2-year-old sister, Riley, were killed in a car crash near Glen Allen, located about 70 miles northwest of Birmingham. The mother, Wendy, was seriously injured and is still in critical condition. It wasn't until after the accident that officials learned of Cal's absence. So on December 11th, they arrested the grandfather, John. 55-year-old grandfather John had full custody. Oh, thank you, Doohickey. Yep, none of them wore seatbelts. And the baby little girl was not in restraints or anything, not in a car seat, nothing. That's why they, unfortunately, which makes me think even more that this was a planned thing. So after the crash, they were looking for the little boy. Like I said, they spent about 8 days, and that's when they discovered he had not been seen for over 3 months. So a neighbor mentioned that while they knew the couple had a son, they had never seen him. Now, what's really weird about it is, how do I get this away? Hold on. Oh, man. Let me try this again. Sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm getting ready to pull up my Facebook. But I'm trying to get it that you don't see my messenger on the side, like my message request and all that. But I'm not sure how to get this away. Oh, I did it. Yay. Okay. Got it. Hey, Tempest, Rosa Sharon, Vanessa, Romano, Stryker. Was the wreck intentional? I believe so, and they believe so. So let me pull you guys into the little, let's go down the rabbit hole together. So first I'm going to show you, it's going to be a trigger warning. This is going to be a photo of the car wreck. Okay, so trigger warning to everybody. Hey, Casey. Oh, thank you, Rosa Sharon. I like doing them early morning because obviously my son's at school, and then I can spend the rest of the day doing what I have to do, the dishes, vacuuming, running about, whatever, getting dinner ready, all those things. So here's the car accident. As you can see, this is a brutal crash right into a tree. This was a truck. So just fathom that impact. This is bad. I do too. Hey, Linda Lou, Hummingbird, Girl Next Door, Forever Army. Hey, Amy, thank you. Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. Nobody was wearing seatbelts. The baby wasn't in a restraint, nothing. Absolutely horrible. So I came across, first, let me show you the baby that's missing. Unfortunately, I don't. Now, all hope is not lost because there is a chance that this baby was kind of sold off to somebody else, but we'll get to all of that. This is the missing baby. Look at this little guy. Look at him. New kid in town. Thank you. Look at his precious little face. So as I stated, the grandfather, John Elton Bailey, had custody of these children. He was responsible for them. And he was arrested because he did not report the baby missing. Hey, Naomi. Hey, Kathy. Callie, he's adorable. Oh my gosh, precious little, oh, so precious. I know, and I know these type of cases are hard for you, Megan. I know they are. All right, so now we are going to get into this lady's videos I found. She kind of breaks it all down in a fantastic way. There are so many things. Like you would just think, oh, the car wreck would be, no. There's too much. So I'm going to borrow some of her videos. Like I said, she breaks them down in a good way. I will link her. I do think she's a TikToker, which we do know a lot of TikTok people are coming over here because they are getting rid of TikTok. Matter of fact, YouTube's trying to make it like TikTok. So if we go in a vertical stream, which I'm going to try out later just to try out, but apparently they're offering where similar to TikTok, you can send like gems and those things. It's just, it's crazy. It is crazy. Hey, Music City Mom. Good morning. All right, so here's our first video.
Okay, y'all, follow closely on this one. This is Wendy Bailey and Stephen Collins of Alabama.
Now, I will tell you, Stephen Collins, so let me show you this again. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. I don't like that they have the mother blocked out in this one, so give me just a second. I mean, you can all see my thumbnail, but nonetheless, she doesn't deserve to be blocked out. So that's them, right? We see them in the photo she has there, but look at this photo. I actually had to analyze it to say, is this the same person? And granted, this one was probably, this is like a year-old photo, but there's a drastic difference. Hey, oh, these damn pop-ups. I don't know where that photo just went. There it is. Right? Is that a drastic difference to anybody else? Hey, Poetic Justice. And we're talking like less than a year time. Hey, Jill, Muffin Mouse. Are they? Have they heard anything? Hey, Colleen. Good morning. Lisbeth, good morning to you. I think that's a drastic difference, but
on December 8th, they had a fatal car wreck. Wendy, Stephen, and their 2 children were in the car, and Stephen and the oldest child, the 2-year-old, died.
So they thought, okay? So they thought.
Wendy was taken to the hospital and is in critical care. Here's where it gets creepy. Supposedly, their 1-year-old son, Caleb, was also in the car, but he was unaccounted for. Nobody could find him.
All right, well, we're going to skip this video because this is before she knew. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this one, she realizes that he's been gone for quite a few months.
Okay, y'all, follow closely on this one. This is Wendy Bailey and Stephen Collins of Alabama. On December 8th, they had a fatal car wreck. Wendy, Stephen, and their 2 children were in the car, and Stephen and the oldest child, the 2-year-old, died. Wendy was taken to the hospital and is in critical care. Here's where it gets creepy. Supposedly, their 1-year-old son, Caleb, was also in the car, but he was unaccounted for. Nobody could find him. Apparently, they searched for 8 days.
8 days. 8 days. This is this year, Donnie. This is all just breaking. This is all just happening right now. 8 days, you have authorities out there searching every bit of that area, trying to find this tiny baby's body. Oh my goodness. The father died, yes.
They didn't find him anywhere. They searched all around this wooded area where the car had wrecked. There were no.
Now look at this car wreck. Normally, and like so he's speeding, right? He's going 90. 90 in a truck. It looks like his back roads type of area. You guys know how that goes. You don't see any skid marks. You don't see any attempts like he tried to stop or he was trying to. I mean, it looks like he intentionally and purposely drove into that tree. "92 miles per hour he was driving on a 45-mile speed limit road. He was driving aggressively and at a high speed. And they know that he was driving aggressively because the crash data retrieval on the truck confirms it. So somebody just asked, it was the mother's father. The mother's father was the one that had custody of these children. Yep. And the grandfather just allowed everybody to believe it. Sorry. StreamYard raised their prices to an unbelievable amount. You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. So yeah, it started spinning on my screen, so I just stopped the share and shared it again. StreamYard raised their prices to like an unaffordable price, and then they've had all these issues since. It is rather infuriating. Honestly, is infuriating. I actually had to switch over, so I had to change my whole StreamYard account, like email and everything, which means I'm going to lose all of my layouts and all the things. But they were having a Black Friday deal for only new subscribers, so it was a huge, tremendous deal that I literally had no choice but to do. Really? Let your streamer starts. Well, I will at the end of, I think it's the end of this week. I'll be on a whole new account. So
A couple.
look at the damage on that tree. So I know what's happening when I play the video is muting me. Thanks, Joe. I just realized it too. That impact was that bad that it marked up the tree in that way. That is wild. Hey, Electro.
Months. There were hardly any pictures of Caleb on Stephen or Wendy's Facebook. But to make matters worse, it's now suspected that Caleb wasn't ever in that vehicle that crashed. Caleb has been missing for months. So Stephen and the 2-year-old daughter passed from the wreck. The mom is still in critical condition. But the day after the wreck, authorities are notified that this couple has another child named Caleb, a 1-year-old. And so they think that Caleb was in this vehicle and they can't find him anywhere. But now everybody's thinking that Caleb was never in the car to begin with because he'd been missing for a couple months. Authorities had gone to relatives and asked about Caleb, and they said that the mom and dad said that Caleb was staying with friends. And when those friends were asked, those friends said that the couple told them that Caleb had been staying with family. There was also this really weird post from Stephen at one point where he said, "Our son is not doing well. He's not growing and has major."
Let me pull up the post for all of you. Wait till you guys see this. Oh, it made the. First off, their profiles are weird. They barely have any friends. It's just an overall weird vibe from them. But let me pull up the father's post. Yeah, that's what everybody thought because there was no seatbelts. They assumed that this poor baby, was kind of airplaned outside of the vehicle. But no, no, the baby had been missing for months. 1-year-old baby. So let me take you over to the father's Facebook, right? He barely has any friends. And then we see this on November 6th. On November 6th, this father writes, "Our son is not doing well. He is not growing and has major back issues. His organs are growing, but not his body. He has to have surgery at some point. Keep him in your prayers. Been rough and just seems to be a long, rough, tough road ahead of us." Okay. Now, this was just 6 weeks ago. And as you'll see, no, this isn't a private life because as you can see, this is all public. So if this was a private page and you had just like your private, family, my page is completely private. You can't see my family. You can't see what I post, nothing. That's a private. Okay. What they have is a very public page with barely anybody on it. There's a big difference. So anyway, people are praying. Here's the grandmother praying for y'all and my sweet grandchildren. Then she says, can you give me a call this afternoon? So I don't like this, though, because of course people went to start attacking her. Weren't you involved in your grandson's life? The parents did something to that baby. And then here, no, she wasn't, due to someone, not naming names, didn't want her to be. Know your shit before you speak. So already they start with the whole attacking the family. I think they try to unalive themselves, beat him. Yeah. She responds back, I said what I said. How about you worry where that innocent baby is? You cannot check me, Catherine. This person responds, I've been worried since the day I found out. Sure as shit, no one up there stepped up for the babies. No check, I come correct. Wrong woman, little girl. Then this person says, well, the grandmother doesn't have any pictures of her grandkids. So here comes the family friend again. You don't know the circumstances behind everything. She had pictures, and she's the only damn person that spoke up for him and has been. If you don't know anything, keep your comments to yourself, because no one up there spoke up for them babies, nor the mother. Take a seat in the back row and keep your comments to yourself. That statement makes me think that maybe this guy was controlling, right? Like maybe he withheld her from family. I don't know. Said, oh, she's the aunt. Says the aunt who knows nothing and didn't realize her own nephew was missing for 2 months already. Why y'all got to do that? How could they have been estranged, but yet they were in Facebook friends? Estranged means no longer involved. Obviously, they were still involved. Her commenting on this post. Period. All right. Now we always get these type of assholes that come on with their weird little. I want to talk to you. Please DM me. What do you want to talk about? Hello? Inbox me, please. All right. They're saying it's a scam. The way you word at the ending seems as if you wanted him to suffer no longer on that road ahead. All right. So at this point, we're just getting all the. I saw this couple in Walmart last week. I happened to be on the toy aisle, same time they were. They was letting the child pick out a toy. They only had one child with them, a little girl. The little girl passed in the accident, but makes sense they only had her, not the missing boy. Report to the sheriff's office. It's none of my business and nothing to report that I seen this couple in Walmart. Obviously, they already know that. They only been occupying one child. It's everyone's business to find a missing child. It's absolutely our duty to report this to the sheriff's office. What do you guys think? Should she report that to the sheriff's office? Hey, YouTubius. It is a strange one. Do you think that her seeing this couple at the Walmart is reportable to the sheriff? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Why does it keep muting me? CPS was involved because the grandfather had custody. Everett says no, they already know. A lot of people are saying yes. Okay. All right. That's interesting. I'm not sure. I guess I don't know. On this Facebook page, Jem, somebody is claiming that she saw the couple with the little girl at the Walmart last week. People are saying on here that she should report it, and she's saying, why would I? They already know. Dang, I gotta keep watching that. They don't mute me again. On December 8th, there was a horrible car accident of a man driving erratically at 92 miles, and he crashed into the tree. On impact, he died. The 2-year-old baby died, and the mother of the children ended up in critical condition in the hospital. The police spent the next 8 days searching for their 1-year-old son that they believed to have also been in the truck. And finally, whatever came about, they realized that that baby was not at the scene because he hasn't been seen in 2 months. So we basically have a case of a family who tried to, in my opinion, leave this earth, likely to cover up what they did to the baby. And I'm not too sure I believe the mother's involved. Thank you, little mama. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate all of you being here. I know this isn't trending. It's not popular. There's no hate involved. But this case really, where the hell is this baby? That's the question. All right, so let's go on. It's just more people yelling at her, go to the police. This was just 2 weeks before the wreck even happened. I don't know if it's the same people. It just looks like it. Well, then you shouldn't have put it. This is what the 1-year-old baby actually looks like. This is one of the very few photos of this baby. You can see the misery and the pain in this baby's face, aside from the bruising. Just look at his eyes. This is a baby. Oh, that looks like a cigarette burn. He has what we call panda eyes. Oh, this baby. And it gets weirder. It gets weirder. Look at his little baby curls. Oh my gosh, he was beautiful. That looks like a cigarette burn. It does. Yeah, if the grandfather had custody, what was going on? I agree. Define, it looks like it. I hate people too. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So, again, this is all they had. June 2nd. This is their little girl. This was about a year ago. It's not a new photo. Actually, it wouldn't have to be about a year ago. It could be about a few months ago because I showed you all what she looks like now. She's on my thumbnail. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Click the wrong thing. All right, let's come back over here.
Back issues. His organs are growing, but not in his body. He has to have surgery at some point. And as we said, this was months ago. So now there is this all-out search and missing child alert for Caleb. I'll be watching this
Good
one,
morning,
so
Beverly.
definitely hit that follow button so I can keep.
And she has been watching closely. So this woman's name is Detective Arthur, True Crime News and Missing. Let me show you guys the next one. And it gets really weird. Like, aside from all of that, it gets really weird. And I will show you all in just a minute how weird this gets.
I know you guys have been seeing all these videos about missing baby Caleb, right? If you haven't, I'm about to recap for you, but look at this.
I agree.
When I was looking up information about this is one of the only photos that apparently are out there. This being another one of baby Caleb. But is it just me? Or does it look like, I'm assuming this is baby Caleb in the back, has a black eye? Let me pull it closer for you. It's very possible that this could be shadowing, but does it look like?
It's not shadowing, ma'am. All right, move on.
Dad and supposedly both of their.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. If you look at this mother's face, she's younger, right? Like, she's kind of straight talkers, right? The mom was 22. Dad was 40. The mom's dad is 55. This woman's partner was closer in age to her father, who ended up having custody of these two children and failed them entirely. Oh.
Babies were in a car wreck. Dad and baby girl, the oldest, passed away.
So
Mom is in
sad.
critical condition, still at the hospital, can't speak. Well, when authorities go and tell the family that they had a wreck, the family's like, well, what about baby Caleb? Caleb's 1. The family says, oh, well, the parents told us that baby Caleb was staying with friends. So they go to ask friends. Friends say, well, the parents told us that baby Caleb was staying with the grandparents.
Listen, if you can't get a hold, it is very important, and this was really big during the pandemic. It is very important that you check in with the children in your lives. If you're a grandparent, if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, especially if the family already had issues to the point where they lost custody of the kids. Don't take the, oh, they're here, they're there, they're everywhere. A 1-year-old baby should be nowhere except for in the mother's care. And if they say, oh, they're with the family, call the family. Demand to see that child in person. How many cases do we know now where a child was missing for months before anybody knew it? There's too many of them, Avery Renee. There is too many of them. But Harmony is a very big one that everybody's familiar with. There's a lot of them. Oh, gosh.
So come to find out, baby Caleb was never in that vehicle during that crash because they originally thought that he was missing for 8 days. They searched all around the crash site, never could find him. Come to find out,
look at him.
Baby Caleb has not been seen in a couple months.
Since
on
September.
Top of that, Dad writes a really weird post on Facebook saying our son is not well. He's not growing.
Listen, Bree, supposedly, however you want to say it, it doesn't matter. I mean, is that the best you got, is to come in and pick apart the way somebody speaks? Do you get the message or not? I mean, seriously. Supposedly, who cares? We're talking about a 1-year-old baby that hasn't been seen in months, and you want to nitpick the way somebody speaks? Get it together.
One has major back issues, blah, blah, blah. You can pause and read. And then this is one of the only other photos that I've seen of baby Caleb. And then when I pull it up, it almost looks like he's got a black eye.
He looks miserable. That baby looks miserable. Am I saying that okay? The baby looks miserable. Absolutely deprived. Even the way they have these two babies sitting together on here, it doesn't even look like it's like, look at that. It's the best you could do for these babies. And is she only wearing one? Oh, that's his little foot. Look how dirty his little socks are. They don't even have little, look at her little foot down here. I guarantee these babies were not having any fun on this little bike ride. You got this one foot dragging, and they're probably just pushing along. This is horrible. Amen, Sammy. I still can't even hear the difference. Supposedly. I don't get it. I don't get the difference, and I don't care to. The fuller message has been met, okay? She said, sure thing.
Of baby Caleb. And then when I pull it up, it almost looks like he's got a black eye. And I'm just really concerned about what happened and where baby Caleb is. If anybody has any.
Now you guys want to get into where it really gets creepy? Let her stay alone, Kraken. She's fine. She's fine. It just shows her mentality that you pick apart the way somebody's speaking when we're talking about the disappearance of a baby. It's just stupid. There are so many bigger things in life. And also, welcome to the World Wide Web, where people have dialects and they speak differently. And, you're going to have a lot of time going through chats, picking out the way people speak. That's a shame for you. If there was ever social media when my kids were little, I would have been arrested. My kids were forever running into things like walls. No, but little mama, 1-year-old's not running into nothing. You know what I mean? That was more than just like, oh, my baby, right? Let me pull it back up for you, okay? Because what we're seeing is not, first off, it looks like a cigarette burn. It's just not normal. This is not a normal injury for a 1-year-old's face. He has a black eye over here, cigarette burn, or what I'm assuming it be. I don't know. Obviously, I can't say forever what it is or with certainty, but it's the way I see it. Supposedly. supposedly. I don't fucking care. I can say fuck you just fine. Anyway, look at that baby's black eye. Fact. There are so many people in this world, some are close friends of mine, that would love nothing more than to have a precious, healthy baby. No, that's true. And then she'll pray to God for you. That's so true. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Rebecca. Good morning. Hey, Goody. No happiness at all. I don't see happiness at all. So here's where it's going to get really weird. And you know, again, this is speculation. I'm completely, let me put up my banner. This is all just my own speculation based off what I see, what I've came across. Um, you know, none of this is factual. All right. So let me show you first where the grandfather's arrested, rightfully so. 55-year-old grandfather had custody of the kids. Yeah, I do too. And you know what? It's okay. The funniest thing I ever heard her say was something about a popsicle. Oh, Teresa, thank you. Listen, I never claimed to be perfect. This is why I'm not a public speaker. Speaker. See, there you go. This is why I'm not a public speaker at actual places. I'm just an idiot with access to the internet, and I decide to talk. And now that you pointed it out, I'll probably say some more words wrong because now you have me self-conscious about it. Hope you're happy, Bree. Asshole.
Breaking news in the missing case of baby Caleb out of Fayette County, Alabama. The grandfather of baby Caleb has been charged. He's been charged with failure to report a missing child. But there's more to it, actually. So 55-year-old John Elton Bailey was charged with failure to report a missing child. But it says failed to report a missing child by delaying to make or failing to cause to be made the report with willful or reckless disregard for the safety of the child. And the child suffered serious bodily harm or death, physical injuries to the child, and the child was removed from the home and taken to an unknown location, and no report was made.
So what I get with this, reading this, right, is that the grandfather spoke. The grandfather spoke to authorities after they went to his house and they made him speak. And it seems like he told them that he did see the baby be removed from the home after having serious injury. Right? That's what I take from it. The criminal complaint states Bailey, the mother's father, failed to report a missing child by delaying to make or failing to cause to be made the report with willful and reckless disregard for the safety of the child. The child suffers serious bodily harm or death, which means the grandfather doesn't know if he was alive when he was removed or if he lived after being removed. But something happened, and that grandfather was witness to it, and he did not call the police. And don't forget, he had custody. Which means at 22 years old, this woman's been pregnant twice. So let's say about 4 years of being pregnant because the baby, or I'm sorry, not 4 years. Let's do the math on it. The baby's 2, the other baby's 1. Okay? So she was pregnant since 20 at least. 19 it would be, right? 9 months pregnant, baby's 2. So let's say 19 by this gentleman who's twice her age. And within 2 years, CPS not only gets involved, but they remove the children from her custody. And then to top it off is another situation where the children are removed from the custody of the parents, but remain in the same house. Do you all think that should be allowed? Do you think if full custody is removed from the parents, that they should be able to remain under the same roof with those children? Put a 1 for no, put a 2 for yes. Never, right? Nope. No. I don't think they should be allowed to remain in the same home. We saw this with Quentin Simon. Quentin Simon, Billy Joe visits the channel, so remain respectful. But she had full custody of this of the children. And yet Leilani lived with her. And guess what? Being in the same household, they're still subject to the same abuse that led to them losing custody. I know, Jill. I know you have. I couldn't fathom. And you're right. They lived out in the woods. Apparently, they did see there was some dug up area. The police were searching it. They have come up empty-handed so far because they do believe, or did believe, that they may have buried the baby. I had custody of my great nephew. First off, Roberta, thank you for taking custody. And his mom lives here. She was never allowed alone with him. All right, so I see what you're saying. Like, you stay on top of it. You make sure she's never left alone. Not even in like a quick, 5-minute run to the store. You don't think Billy Joe had full custody? I'm not sure if she did or not, to be honest. I just know she had custody. I don't know if it was full. I thought she was the caretaker for them. No? Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. BJ did have custody, right? Whatever. I thought that was the biggest thing, is that she had custody and the children were not supposed to stay with Leilani, hence why they had the babysitter. She definitely did, my favorite B. BJ did have full custody. She did, right? She was in the process to get in custody and evicting Danny and Leilani. Well, I don't know about that. I know she had custody, was in process of evicting them, but she did have custody. Maybe she's in here this morning and she'll tell us for sure. But anyway, so in this case, the grandfather had custody. Mom and dad still lived with him. And listen, at some point we have to acknowledge too, though, the government is wrong for this. The government's wrong for this. You're taking a at least 2-year-old and 1-year-old from their mother, hand them over to a single man, the grandfather, at 55 years old. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you. They would hate to hear me talk. I mispronounce everything. Listen, at least I still have the courage to come up here, mispronounced and all. Nobody makes fun of it more than I do myself, I'll tell you that. All right, so, I don't know. That's a lot for any man, let alone an older gentleman. He has a house, he has a job, how's he going to take care of two toddlers by himself? Quite frankly, an infant and a toddler. CPS doesn't take. I'm in the process of getting custody. The kids would have been in state custody. Right. You're right, Lisa. They're not going to say, hey, the kids can remain here as you try to get custody. They would have been removed. Great point. I'm glad he's resting in peace, man. That poor baby. Capital K, thank you so much. Right, who's watching the kids? I'll tell you who. Their mother. They're the mother that they were removed from custody from. All right, let's carry on.
Made. So the part where it says that the baby was taken to another location with possible injuries shows that there is some information known here, and that the grandfather should have known or either did know. I've also caught wind that they are digging on property of one of the family members, and I'm just so sad to hear this, but I'm really not surprised.
So they did do the digging. They didn't find anything yet. As of last night, they were still in the woods searching. So, Lindsay, thank you so much. If you haven't, please take a moment to hit the thumbs up. It's a free way to show the channel support. You see in his eyes, he had a hard life. Yeah, just a year. Just a year. Hey, May May, it's good to see you. She had custody of the kids, and Leilani, if she was to see them, it was supposed to be supervised. She wasn't supposed to be left alone with the children. Right.
And I just feel like it's so crazy that if something like this really happened and then.
I mean, we can overanalyze any photo. Like, I can look at this photo here and say this newborn has sunburn on her head and she shun it. I'm guessing authorities were able to see things like this too, hence why they lost custody. But it's really sad. It's really sad because it sounds like, to an extent, the mother was also a victim of this guy. And I mean, obviously I don't know that. All right, so now we're going to get into a little more conspiracy-driven things. Again, this is conspiracy. There are weird things to point out about this family. We don't know if it's true. We got to wait till more comes out. But there's some weird things. Who did I just see come in? Hey, Lazy Wolf. The father, yeah, he was in his 40s. She was in her early 20s. Hey, just Samantha. This is Alabama.
Kayla, I've got about 4 or 5 talking points. I'm going to split them up on different videos.
Shelby,
so let's dive into the first one. I'm going to go ahead and give you a trigger warning now. We do have a picture of the vehicle after the accident. This is the truck. It was a Toyota Tacoma. As you can see, it took a head-on collision with this big tree. The bed completely folded.
Oh, head-on collision. Hey, Zero. Good morning to you. Shelby, thank you so much for that. Morning, Granny. Sad story, but it's nice to discuss a new case. I agree. I think it is well overdue. Hey, Fred. Good morning to you. Sad to see a new case, but glad to break from Sebastian and drama that comes with it. Yeah, we're going in circles, Lolly. Never ever. This family restoration in some cases is bullshit. I agree. Yeah, that, you know what, Venice, let's talk about that. How many of you think that this car accident was intentional? Again, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Good morning, Nanex. Good to see you. Another missing baby. 1-year-old missing baby. Unfortunately, though, as we just saw in the last, it seems like the grandfather knows that the baby was pretty badly injured and or not alive the last time he saw him before he left the house, before the baby was removed from the house. So I don't think we are looking for a baby that's alive, unfortunately. But there's hope. There's still a chance. So good morning, Mystic. Thank you for being with us for 2 months, my friend. You are a special MFer. I appreciate you. Good morning, Momo Shark. I know, this is horrible. The system isn't always an answer either. Kids are abused and killed sometimes. Of course, Nurse Bev. There's a case local to me, very local to me, where they were adoptive parents and they were severely abusing the children. Oh, yeah, it's all around, unfortunately. Then you heard about the case. I don't know if you heard about it. I heard about the case over in Florida where the same house with different adult names was apparently fostering a bunch of children. It was the same damn address to get all these different kids, and they didn't even look into it to realize, wait a minute, we just sent 4 kids to live there with, let's say, the Smiths, and now you're applying under the Jones for 3 more kids. Oh, it makes me sick. Hey, ND. Because it is a system that is overwhelmed, it is understaffed, and there's no excuse for that. Our children are the most precious thing in this world. Our children and our elderly. There is no reason that CPS should be understaffed. I'm sorry. There's no reason they should be understaffed and overwhelmed. None. If there was ever a program that should be given the most budget, it would be that. I told you all a million times I was on trial for a local baby. Mom got a new boyfriend. It wasn't the kid's father. The kid's father was heavily involved in the kids' lives. He wanted his children. It was a messy breakup going on. Mom starts dating a new guy. He's an MMA fighter. And next thing you know, the children are having bruising on them. Only one, little Mason. Bruising all over him. CPS is involved. That day, CPS was supposed to make an appearance. They're knocking at the door. Boyfriend's texting mom while she's at work downstairs. What should I do? She's saying hide with him in the bedroom. Don't answer the door. About 45 minutes to an hour later, mom takes a break from work to go bring up snacks and instead comes back down with the baby non-responsive, trying to convince the doctor's office and everybody in there that this baby, was in the tub and then was found unconscious, yet he wasn't wet. They beat him to death. And if CPS would have called the police and kicked in that door instead of leaving for the third time, that was the third visit they had where they couldn't get a hold of the parents. And it was the last visit they would ever have because that baby didn't survive. They should be kicking indoors.
Put it in. But what's really important here to look at is that leading up on the grass, there's no skid marks. There's no movement of the earth to show that there was any kind of trying to stop. Now, there's a Facebook page dedicated to finding baby Caleb. And some people have said, well, what if the brakes went out? So this is the road.
Brakes didn't go out. They pulled up the truck. They can see it. Oh. Well, she did get the max. This mom did get the maximum sentence for what she did. I still don't feel like it was enough. Here, I'll show you guys over here. Mom gets maximum jail time for toddler's beaten death. This was baby Mason. Man, he was a little brute. He was such a hysterical little guy. This is the mom. This is the devil herself. He was 2 years old, soon to turn 3. Mom's boyfriend, big tough MMA fighter who beat the living shit out of a damn near 3-year-old baby. Tough guy he was, right? She was sentenced to 24 to 48 years in state prison. This was the hardest case to watch and preside over. Let me tell you. I was a witness in this case. We can talk about true crime stories all day long. But until you sit through an actual trial of one of these cases, until you see the photographs they put on the screen, and you hear the horrific details, and you listen to the reports and the witnesses and everything, you fully can't comprehend. Fuck, it was horrible. Daniel Grafton was found guilty of endangering the welfare of a child. I remember that too. We were so pissed that he wasn't found guilty. So he was sentenced to 1 year less than a day, 2 years less than a day. So what they do with that is 2 years minus a day is enough to keep you in county. You stay in county jail. He didn't go to prison. Confinement, was placed on immediate parole. He was also given 3 years of probation in order to perform 300 hours of community service. And exactly what I said, that they were dispatched to the medical office of Dr. Patricia at 425 Chester Pike, where Matthews worked, around 4:40 p.m. She lived right above it. Grafton had brought the boy into the office from Matthews' apartment above the practice. Mason was described as limp and cold. Sutton and the paramedics attended to the child, who was transported to Taylor Hospital and pronounced dead by 5:52 p.m. They testified at trial that Hunt had at least 128 individual bruises across his small frame. It was a homicide and the boy died from the totality of his injuries, which included an extreme hemorrhage and a membrane of fat around the bowel and small intestine. He also suffered a laceration on his liver that was likely 2 to 3 days old. And let me tell you, and CPS was there that day to check on him. That day. The bruising that was on that baby, and I mean everywhere, was horrific. Anyway, let me get that off the screen. I'm sorry. When I hear people playing around on here and they're calling CPS on creators because they don't like them and they're dog whistling for others to do the same, and there are children like Mason who is in desperate need of their services, and you are wasting their time because you dislike somebody's mother. Anyway, back to little baby. I'm sorry.
Pretty straightaway road. And last night on the live, we determined that this speed limit on this road is 45 miles an hour. The truck was going about 92 miles an hour. It was also only about 1 mile from the home. So I don't know about you guys, but speeding up to 90 miles an hour within a mile of your home is pretty intentional. I also don't see any kind of skid marks. There's no evidence that shows that there was any kind of skid.
Right, a mile from their home. It seems like it was very much an intentional thing. But, so it turns out people super sleuthed, and what they found is horrific. Oh, here's grandfather. Sorry, I didn't show you guys this yet.
We also discussed on our live last night about how the grandpa, John Elton Bailey, was arrested. Now, I think it was just assumed that this was a pretty recent thing about the grandpa being arrested, but guess what? He was actually arrested on December 11th. So let's break down these dates. The crash happened on December 8th. Authorities are telling family, and I believe it was the uncle that they went to, and the uncle said, well, where's baby Caleb? You didn't mention anything about Caleb.
That's how they even found out that there was a baby. That's how they found it out.
So then by December 9th, baby Caleb is then marked as missing. Over the next 8 days, they ensue on a search everywhere around this crash site.
That's the thing, too. I don't even want to think about what their last moments were like. And that includes the mother. Because I do believe this mother was in an abusive relationship. Wow, May, that's horrible. Good morning, Lucia. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up on your way in, my friend. Yeah. There's a chance this mother was being abused as well.
But in that meantime, on December 11th, this grandpa, maternal grandpa, so this is Wendy's father, was arrested. Now, here's where it gets steeper. So John Elton Bailey had custody over both Stephen and Wendy's kids.
He had custody, and they still had access.
But here's the other thing. They had the same address. I'm assuming when John Elton Bailey got custody, he listed a different address. However, they were living together, at least from April this year. I'm going to tell you why.
And a lot of you agree they shouldn't be allowed to. Hey, Truth Hurts. Makes me think that Dad got pissed and turned the wheel. Yeah, it's less than a mile from home, 92 on a 45 zone. He didn't try to stop at all. There's no brakes. And they pulled out the truck's, box thing that tells you everything. And it said that he was driving erratic. I think he did it on purpose too.
In a minute, and it has to do with a neighbor. Now, I don't have definitive answers for you on why the parents lost custody, but it's clear that the grandfather did this as a nod to protect, his daughter and take on her kids, which is also my suspicion as to why he refuses to talk. Let's talk real quick about his charges. What is very concerning and serious here is that the alleged crime that we'll talk about, that's listed right here in a second, happened on September 10th.
See, as of yesterday and the day before, they're digging on the family's property.
But like I said, hang in there, because I think baby Caleb has not been sighted since at least April of this year. The way that this is worded, and it's around September 10th, and possibly even saw him removed and taken from a home. Now remember, it says serious bodily harm or death, and he made no report of this. This is why he is charged. I believe that as long as his daughter is in the hospital, which she still is unconscious as of 10:30 a.m., 12:18, and has the possibility to live, that he will not say anything. He has been in there since December 11th. Now we're going to talk about the neighbor.
It's so creepy. I would say so, Heather. They drastically changed in their looks.
Had a neighbor of Stephen and Wendy Collins, I think their only neighbor, on our live last night. She said that she had been living in, her and her husband had been living in this house across the street from them since April of this year.
Now listen, look at this photo right here, right? I don't know about any of you, but I'm not allowing my 20-year-old daughter to date a 40-year-old man. That would make him older than me. I'm not allowing that, but I understand why some would. You know, some people don't think age is a big thing. I do. At 40 years old, he's old enough to be her father. He is closer to the age of her father. Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, you know, my husband's 16 years older than me, or my father's 20 years older than my mother. But what we're talking about in recent times, not, you know, when it was a little more normalized, there's a huge age gap. And if he impregnated her at 19, well, when did he start dating her? Free ran. A little coward. Well, right. Why is the baby not in a car seat? Maybe they were just doing like a cutesy little photo. I have photos of my children sitting in the front seat, kind of chilling with me too. Not when I'm driving. Obviously, the car's parked. You know, just a cute little something about them being so little in the front seat. You know, but we do know in the accident she also wasn't buckled in, right? So, is this something they did normally? My mom was married to an abusive man, and when he felt slighted, he would drive car fast and threaten to go off bridge, which obviously he would have injured or died in, but he didn't give a shit. Ugh. That's different when you're talking about a developing mind, right? 20 is too young for a 40-year-old. Well, and again, she was pregnant at 19. When did he really start dating her? Right, why not just take himself out? What a selfish, disgusting man. But she's as disgusting too because she knew something happened to her baby and she didn't say anything. Are we going to find out this was a case of the mother being abused as well? And if we find out that this woman, this mother, this young mother was also abused, would you be sympathetic towards her? All right, let me see. I'll pull this up. Nelly, get away. Get away. Oh, Kraken. Thank you so much for the Cash App. They met in church, possibly. It happens a lot. Oh, blessed be, right?
Not once have they ever seen baby Caleb. She mentioned that sometimes she would see Wendy bring baby Riley out to play in the front yard. Never Caleb.
No, and this photo again, right? That she looks like she's loving on her baby. This is the little girl. They look like they love her. Simplify. Good morning. Hey, Tiff. You guys are saying maybe, not sure. Maybe because she had another child, she felt like she needs to protect. What could a 1-year-old do? Oh, God. Makes me so angry. But look at the father here. I'm telling y'all, don't he look different? I mean, isn't that a big difference? I guess not. I guess it's just shaving his head and damn ads. Come on. Is this another case where mom just could not stand the second baby? Any of you familiar with the diaper mom that's trying to nurse Hannah? Hey Bree, good morning. So we are discussing a case where a family crashes into a tree. The father dies, 2-year-old baby dies, mom survives but is in critical condition. Police spent the next 8 days searching for a 1-year-old baby they believed to have been in the car. They finally discover that that baby was not in the car. As a matter of fact, he has been missing for months. And they are now on the search for the little baby. Hey, grouchy mama bear. I don't know. I'm a mother and I was a young mother. Yeah, me too. There's no way anyone would ever have hurt one of my children. I blame her just as much as I blame him. Hey, Mo. All right, let's go.
She also mentioned that even at one point, her husband had gone into their home and there was no sign of baby Caleb. This is since at least April of this year. Now, these pictures that you just saw behind me are from one of Stephen Bradley Collins' Facebook, and I'm going to talk about it on the next video because what's been found about some of his Facebook marketplace ads are really concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys ready for that? Grandpa isn't talking. He said enough for them to know that he did see the baby leave the house injured, if not deceased, but he's not saying anything further than that. Grandpa is still in jail. Absolutely. We're going to get into the Facebook marketplace, and this is where it gets weird. So, some of this will be missing, cut off, but see this little photo here? We got a mattress on the ground. We got a little girl sleeping in a bed, right? We can all see that. The father listed this on Facebook Marketplace as bunk beds for sale for $250. Do you see bunk beds? We do not yet turn in leaves. Snowflakes. What is actually being sold? Bunk beds, $250. Facebook Marketplace. All right, now let's look at the next one. They were also selling for $250. Seems to be the magic number for them. We all know people have magic numbers. A Hello Kitty ride. Again, with the baby. Oh yeah, absolutely, Deaf Grace. You can have bunk beds that come apart to become two, twin size beds, full size beds, whatever. But in that case, in that photo, they don't even show bunk beds. They show a toddler sleeping. Will ship in USA for additional charges. There was something attached to that bed. It looks like this is one of those. All right, so I see the bunk bed now, right here. It looks to me like this is one of those beds where underneath is like a loft area, not a bed. But when you're selling something, Are you going to have a picture of your toddler sleeping and not the actual bed? I mean, where's the actual bunk bed, right? I don't know. This whole thing is so weird. You think it's elevated? Let me see. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Oh, look, there's toys. I mean, here's a baby doll. Here's a plushie on the ground. She has some toys over here. Minnie Mouse, a little train truck. I mean, there's toys. She's tucked in the blanket, snuggled up. What could have happened to this baby? What could have happened to the newborn? Our local news just did a news alert. They are still at the residence digging and searching for that sweet boy. Somebody I know who lives closer to them says law enforcement and news reporters are everywhere. Strangely enough, I can find more info through total strangers who live much further away than I can by locals, but even more importantly, by the news. There's still no type of Amber Alert put out, so that just makes it seem as though they know he is already gone. I definitely believe the wreck was intentional. And also, was baby girl also already gone at the time of the wreck? Was mom threatening to turn him in once they got home? I mean, because they were only a mile away from home, doing 92 and a 45, with no signs of trying to stop. I don't know, but it sure seemed very intentional. If she survives, she's going to have the same charge as her dad because she also should have reported it. Ah, that's true, man. Hey, Karen. Good morning to you. Bunk beds could be code. You're right. Reminds me of code signals. It does. Oh, I'm sorry. It was just a comment underneath the marketplace posting. Sorry about that. Right here. These babies do look miserable. And again, I hate to keep pointing this out, but look at the differences here, right? I showed photos of the mother with the little girl. She seems very loving to her. And then you look in this picture. And in this picture, you got the baby girl has a jacket on. She has shoes and socks on. And you look at the baby brother, who's clearly clearly suffered. He has no jacket. He has no shoes. Is this a case of resentment against the baby brother? I mean, again, like the Nurse Hannah seems to take out all her anger on her toddler boy, her oldest child, not the baby. Are we witnessing something like that? Is that what was going on? Is there a chance that maybe the infant, the little baby boy, did not belong? That Caleb didn't belong to Stephen? Of course, there's that possibility. Grandfather charged was found to report 1-year-old missing, must be for a wreck. The dad had custody. She didn't. So she has a good lawyer. She could possibly get away with it. Really? You think so, Chris? He looks miserable, Tiff Tiff. He looked miserable. It was really sad. Let's look into the grandfather. See what we can get with him. All right, so here's more grandfather. John Alton Bailey on December 10th, 150 pounds, arrested, failure to report a missing child. He was arrested on the 11th. Here's grandpa. The grandfather had custody of both kids, yes. Sorry, Jackie, a side-by-side of who? I'm sorry. We brought that up. And we brought up how Harmony was missing for months before anybody knew. Could a grandfather have done it? Possibly, Jill. What other reason would he have to remain silent, right? There's grandpa. What the hell's been going on in this house? Oh, look at this. They're requesting the CPS documents. Court documents reveal missing toddler suffered serious bodily harm or death. This is a...
How to blow their mind with a gift from their...
According to court documents, Caleb Collins was last seen in early September in Winfield. Take a close look at Caleb Collins, the 1-year-old at the center of a missing persons case, which only came to the attention of law enforcement.
Again, though, similar to Sebastian's case, this is an older photo. This is absolutely an older photo of Caleb here. Hey, Hooker. Hey, Tattoos. Well, when they took the little device out of the truck that says he was driving like erratically and sped up to 92. So...
of a missing persons case, which only came to the attention of law enforcement after his parents and sister were in a horrific crash here at this location, less than a mile from their home. A damaged tree shows the impact. 2-year-old Riley killed. Her father, Stephen Collins, also died. The mother in ICU at UAB Hospital. Authorities alarmed after another family member inquired about the whereabouts of Caleb. There was no evidence of him at the crash site after a thorough search. Then the investigation revealed he had not.
Oh, let's be nosy. That is so out of place. We got the little car. What else we got? What is over here? Propane. We got the stuff to grill. Oh, that's a little concerning. I hope they take all these items. Little tin can, the stuff to light a fire.
Been seen in months at the family's home near Winfield. The father in a Facebook post referring to Caleb as being ill. One story, he was living with a friend. Another, that he was staying with a family member. Now his
Look, there's the little toy that they tried to sell on Facebook Marketplace. There it is. The Hello Kitty truck. See it? Oh no, the grandfather's absolutely guilty. Absolutely guilty. Thank you, Seymour. Hey, Julie's Crafton. Thank you all for being here.
Family member, now his grandfather in the Fayette County Jail under suspicion for not reporting Caleb missing. Other troubling signs were the parents and Riley were not wearing seatbelts, no visible skid marks of braking before impact. Now, Aaliyah and SBI have joined in this search. So far, the sheriff's office and investigators not returning calls or answering any further questions. Muriel?
Cynthia Gould reporting. You can find more information about Caleb and the investigation on our website right now, abc3340.com.
It's breaking news out of Fayette County.
All right, so our friend Jill over here sent us this. Let's take a look.
Tonight, newly released dashcam video shows the seconds before a car crashed into oncoming traffic and killed a woman and her young daughter.
Now, the man who has been jailed for more than a year, accused of intentionally causing that crash, may soon bond out of jail. He faces 2 charges of second-degree murder.
Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey was in court today when prosecutors presented evidence, including video from that dash cam. And we want to warn you, some of what you're about to see is disturbing.
This is some of the dash cam video the prosecution played for the judge to try to convince him to keep Mustafa Al-Jazari behind bars.
So this is a story. Again, trigger warning. Although true crime, I feel like you should go into it knowing there may be a trigger for you. October skies, I agree. In this case, this woman was abused. You see the poor little girl in the background. This is terrifying.
It shows the moments before his car crashed into oncoming traffic, killing his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, and her 5-year-old daughter. There is no audio, but prosecutors say the couple's facial expressions indicated they were arguing,
Mom's smoking weed right there, but
continuing a fight that began earlier in the day over a former boyfriend. Then, as the car reaches an intersection, it veers left into oncoming traffic.
Oh, I can't even watch. It is happening in Alabama. Alabama mama. Oh. Good golly.
Traffic. Prosecutors saying Al-Jazari did it intentionally. Another camera angle showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact.
Oh my God, look at the little girl. Oh, I'll tell you, we were in a horrible car accident where I saw the truck coming and I couldn't do anything.
Another camera angle showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact.
What's really, really sad about this? Is the little girl never looks up. She was used to them arguing. That little girl never lifts her eyes up. The little girl, her car seat's wobbling all over. She never looks up.
Angle showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact. Al-Jazari's expression changing little. Prosecutors telling the judge the video proves if Al-Jazari is released, he poses a danger to the public. But the defense attorney,
he was given bond. Oh,
had a much different take on it, saying even if the couple was having a disagreement, that's not proof the crash was intentional or that Al-Jazari is dangerous.
They have a piece of video from one instance where it appears my client was trying to pass a vehicle and then in a moment of panic made a bad decision and incorrect.
Pass a vehicle? What are you talking about, sir? Look at this.
Continuing a fight that intersection, it veers left into.
Where does it look like he's trying to pass a vehicle?
Boyfriend. Then, as the car reaches an intersection, it veers left into oncoming traffic.
You think that was intentional? Oh, pass a vehicle, right? What?
Prosecutors saying Al-Jazari, victim's face and fear as she braces for impact. Al-Jazari's expression changing little. Prosecutors telling the judge the video.
Client was trying to pass a vehicle and then in a moment of panic made a bad decision, an incorrect decision because he was flustered and panicked. That is not a reason to hold somebody in jail, finding that they're a general and unreasonable danger to the community.
Prosecutors also played a police investigator's interview with Al.
Well, you know, that is part of what we have to remember when they do give bail or when they're talking about sentencing. It is a matter of, is he a danger to the public? And I'd have to say in this case, although he tried obviously to harm himself, his girlfriend, and her daughter, he could have harmed many others as well.
Jazari made 2 days after the crash. Here's part of what he said when asked about what the dashcam video shows.
He went right through a red light.
About what the dashcam video shows.
It just shows you turning into the left-hand lane. No skid marks, no braking, and then just driving into oncoming traffic. I'm trying to figure out why.
I don't know. Why would I do that?
But
why would you do that, you piece of shit? Are you kidding me?
Judge ruling prosecutors failed to prove Al Jazeera would be dangerous if released. He granted a $5,000 bond. The decision,
$5,000 bond. He has to pay 10% of that. Well, that's what it is in my state anyway. But yeah. Okay.
small victory for Al Jazeera's family, who spent 2 weeks keeping vigil outside the courthouse, complaining he's not been treated fairly.
What? This is usually the problem with men like him. Look at the family protesting that he's not being treated fairly. Let's talk about the little girl whose life he took in a selfish way because he was insecure about an ex-boyfriend. Are you kidding me?
I'm trying to figure out what.
To prove Al Jazeera would be dangerous if released, he granted a $5,000 bond. The decision, a small victory for Al Jazeera.
I know people who've gone to jail for way less, who've had higher bonds for way less. This is a problem.
His family, who spent 2 weeks keeping vigil outside the courthouse, complaining he's not been treated fairly.
Aww.
If my brother had
to have the sheer audacity to hold your own child who looks to be about the same age as the little girl whose life your brother took and cry that he was not being treated fairly? Are you freaking kidding me?
a drop of guilt, we would not.
He's not been treated fairly.
If my brother had a drop of guilt, we would not be here for him. We believe my brother is innocent. We believe that this was a horrible accident. We believe that. And I believe the evidence is going to show the truth.
But Al Jazeera won't be walking out of this jail today. That's because the judge put a stay or a hold on his order so prosecutors could explore the idea of an appeal. Everyone will be back in court.
Oh, he's going to appeal it too. When was this? This was 7 months ago. 7 months ago. Oh, there's no evidence? I would say this is evidence.
Camera angle showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact. Al Jazeera's expression changing little.
He had plenty of time to change what he was doing.
Prosecutors telling the judge the video proves if Al Jazeera's released, prosecutors say. Then as the car reaches an
right here, first off is a red light. So what other reason would he have to turn into this lane? He's not passing a car. You're not even allowed to pass a car in this lane. Oh, unbelievable. And then he goes through the red light into direct oncoming traffic, and they're trying to excuse it? Oh, he's alive. He survived. The poor little girl that showed no fear for her mother screaming back here.
Showing the victim's face and fear as she braces for impact.
She's not even buckled. That baby girl's not even buckled. I can't today. I can't. There are so many people out here that would give anything to have children. And you got this going on. Should be evidence enough. The amount of BS lies. Right, they were arguing right beforehand. His face doesn't change. Look at the mother's terrified. He's fully alert. Arguing. Are you kidding me?
Al Jazeera's expression.
And the poor baby girl, despite flinging all over that back seat right now, never once looked up. She was used to arguments. A man drove into my mother exactly like this, broke her neck, killed 4 of his 5 children and himself. He did not have one scratch, and when it finally got to the court, the judge said he has suffered enough. Oh, Dee, I am so sorry. You know why they usually never have any injuries? Because they're not in fear, because they're the ones doing it. So they don't tense up. It's when your body tense up for impact that you normally gets hurt. That's why drunk drivers and stuff, they usually don't get hurt. Because they're so like nonchalant, like da. They don't know to tense up. Yeah, that's what happened during my accident, Jesse. I remember screaming at my kids like, it's gonna hit us, it's gonna hit us. It was terrifying. I had nightmares for weeks after that. And then his family protesting he's not being treated fairly. So basically, that video was shown to ask you all, do you think there is a chance when it comes to Caleb, missing 1-year-old Caleb, and the way his family died, which shows that he was driving aggressively at 92 miles, is there a chance that the mother here, Wendy, was a victim? Do us women see that we really don't have equal rights? I have to go back to baking because I'm mouthy today. Give it a few months, Trish. Let's see how many more we have then. What are you doing, Nellie? What? Huh? What are you doing? You're just going to sit here and cry at me? What do you want? Nellie's like a toddler. You get on the phone, right? And suddenly they want all your attention. Like, what does she even want? Right. How is he not treated fairly? Could be. She could have been begging him to slow down or stop. He didn't even care. He wanted to do it. I've never driven that fast in my life, even on the highway. The amount of family supporting people who obviously committed the crimes intentionally is absolutely insane to me. We need more people who stand up for what is right above all else. Well, okay. That's like in several cases, right? Chris Watt's case, which I plan on taking a trip back to. His mother, Cindy, and father, Ronnie, they defended him. What other case just crossed my mind? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the mother. Not the mother, the lady that killed the bride. The hell is her name? Drunk driving. It was their wedding night. Bride died on impact. The groom survived. Her jail calls are out there, and in the phone call, she's calling her father, and she says, I just don't know why this happened to me. And the father says, bad things happen to good people. Jamie, that's her name. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What the judge and attorney said in this case allowed this man so much leeway. Do you think? I mean, I saw somebody write in the comments, and I'm not sure, but we do know. Listen, the attorney's doing his job, right? But we know that on a phone call, he asked, what does the video show? And they respond, it just shows you turning into the left-hand lane, no skid marks, no braking, and then just driving into oncoming traffic. So he didn't try to stop. Can I find a Facebook page for this case? Is it? Oh, I'm sorry, Tina. Give me 1 second. I'll give it to you. I'm sorry. Oh, did I exit out? No, I didn't. Could it be that his family, we see that his family's out there protesting, right? Did that play a part in it? Does his religion play a part in it? All right, sorry, here, I'll get you that Facebook page. It's not dedicated just to this case, but she did cover a lot of, she does a lot of videos on it. Here it is. Hopefully this works for you. If not, give me 1 second. I'll type out the name of it as well. I was going to say, girl, maybe I wasn't on no dang drugs. I'm like, what? We were down the shore getting ready to go to bingo. I was turning into the Family Dollar to get my son a little hoodie because it got a little chilly with the rain. One car, there's traffic coming in because people were headed down the shore as a main road. And one car that was going to be turning right, and I'm waiting, holding up traffic to turn left. The right car waved for me to go, and the truck, who was a local guy, he went around the traffic onto the sidewalk, fresh off the highway, and boom, right into me. Here's the name. I just typed it out here. If you put this in and then you type in Caleb's name or even type in Stephen, you should be able to find it. Type in Stephen Collins with this name. I don't know. You should be able to find it. It did work for you? Okay. What the time for the picture? They're protesting outside the jail saying he's not being treated right. Look, they even got beds. They've been sleeping.
For Al Jazeera's family.
Look, beds, blankets, pillows. Is this why he got away with it? Did they want to get rid of this headache of the family? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that's happening, Tina. Is sound working for everybody else? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and wrap this one up anyway. But I do appreciate you all being with me. Again, the point of showing this horrific video on the screen right here is to show that, you know, there's a possibility she could have been a victim. Wendy could have been a victim here. Or did the guilt of what they did to Caleb and knowing with the holidays coming up, how are you going to convince family and friends on Christmas why you don't have your baby with you? If you told Uncle Timmy that the baby was with Aunt Lisa, how do you explain that come Christmas? Did the realization that their crime was about to be discovered? Is that what happened? So they tried to commit suicide and it didn't work out. The mother survived, little mama. The mother over here, in this case, survived. Sorry, where'd it go? In this particular case, the mother died, baby girl died. I'm sorry, mother survived, baby girl died, the father died, and we have no idea. Oh, horribly, Chris. We have no idea what happened to Caleb. He was not in the wreck. Yeah, people make jokes like, what do you have, a brain injury? Yeah, I do. We were really hurt. People think it's a joke because I mess up words and stuff, but that didn't happen. Like, there were a few words I pronounced differently, obviously, with a local dialect. You know, we say words differently. I even took a picture at our local farm place. They were selling candles that were made by a company that called themselves Delco. And the candles' names alone tell you that we mispronounce things. They did it on purpose. For example, let me read you one of them. I was going to post a picture and then I didn't. But one of the candles is named, it was actually quite funny. One candle is named Hey Pumpkin. So pumpkin, like that. But yeah, my I have short-term memory loss from the car accident. I've dislocated disc in my neck and back. I get flurries really bad in my eyes. And I can't process things as quickly as I used to. So when I'm reading an article and I'm mispronouncing words, or it's, you know, that's why. I mean, I've gone to my doctor, I've questioned it, I've asked, you know, what is wrong with me? Why does this happen? And there's no real answer for it. So while some people like Bree come in, they make fun of people, and, you know, you got others that spend hours like laughing hysterically at it. It's an actual result of a horrific situation that I had no control on. So that's true, May. That's true. I've noticed that myself. And regardless if I mispronounce a word or not, I will outsmart any of them any day in an actual conversation. It's exactly why I'm able to write out better than I can speak, because I'm not stupid. I'm just a little stupid. But yeah, this is really sad. Sun and Sand, thank you so much. Yeah, that's what it was, PD. It was horrible. Impact. Oh, that's pretty much what they said. There's nothing they can do to change it, though. It's just what happens. We're all so backwards, nothing makes sense when it should. Most people who are narcissists and manipulative that aren't true to themselves think they have the right to self-entitlement, which is driven by ego. There's nothing funny about that. They think they're funny by making fun of it. That's the other thing, PD. They're like, you don't remember? No, I don't. I mean, what do you want me to say? Oh, I agree, Bomber Truck. I agree. Which should be up and filed, hopefully by tomorrow. If not, at least by Monday. I've spoken to them all week. Everything is written out. We know what we're doing with it. And I do think we'll be very successful at it. So I know a lot of people keep saying like nothing's happening, and that's because they're waiting on me. As far as all the other BS, somebody should ask them why they didn't do it. Why they didn't file their amended complaint yet. I just clipped a couple of them mocking GW, but can't say birthday, Reef, or Hallmark. Yeah, they I'll tell you, PB&J. Obviously, we can tell who's more intelligent. That's like a certain situation they're trying to bring up now. Oh, let me tell you all. If you knew the truth on that, and if I give you the truth on that, I'll be the bad guy. So we'll let them go ahead with their little gaslighting. An update. Let's see.
Alabama 12.
Stop it, Nelly. Go away.
19. What you're looking at is the home of mom, dad, grandpa, and the two kids, Riley and Caleb. They have been performing digs on this property. However, last night, as we were on live, about 7 to 9 cop cars rushed back to the property. They had a whole area lit, and they put up the crime scene investigation tape. Usually this means that they have blocked off an area and considered it a crime scene, which is actually not good in this case. I think it's something that a lot of people are probably expecting for this to be a recovery mission at this point with Caleb. Many people are wondering if this means that Grandpa talked and let out some more information. As you know, the father and Riley passed in the accident. Mom is still in an induced coma and in critical condition at the hospital. It's so...
Now you stop that, Aristocat. All right, come on, Nelly, stop. They do expose themselves. They do. And PB&J's right. PB&J has been around for years. She comes from the other sector I was in, and she knows what and who these people are. They're not good people. And believe me, in time, you will see that. You will see that.
So odd and so messed up that Grandpa was given custody of these kids, and yet they lived at the same home. There was clearly some sort of argument between the mom and her sister being mad that dad had come to live with them. And she makes comments saying that she just wants to talk to her dad, and Wendy won't let her. What's even more odd about this is that they apparently moved into the home that they ended up searching in March of this year. That may not be right, but that's what we've heard. And there's just been pretty much no sighting of Caleb from anyone else anyways. This is a picture on Stephen Collins' Facebook of mom pregnant with Riley. They have some photos of Riley. The neighbor even said that she had seen mom come out and play with Riley, but there's never been any sighting of Caleb in that home. Now, all we know for sure from the charges that were filed on the grandpa was that there was a last sighting September 10th. And remember, there were those really odd Facebook marketplace pictures that Stephen Collins made, which was just 3 weeks ago. I can't show them. TikTok doesn't like them. If you want to go see them, click on the playlist below or go to my page. It's the video that is blurred out. It's labeled as part 3 updates. Keep checking back because I will be updating you with any other updates. I'm assuming baby Caleb update out of Alabama 1219. What you're looking at is the home of mom, dad, grandpa, and the two kids, Riley and Caleb. They have been performing digs on this property. However, last night, as we were on live, about 7 to 9 cop cars rushed back to the property. They had a whole area lit.
So it sounds like they may have found the baby, and I don't know that for sure. Yeah, there was one time somebody tried making fun of me. They wrote out that speech is not my forte. And they couldn't even spell that correctly. BJ said fox for foe, which is what she gave Granny's watching grief for. Yeah, she also one time said geography was geology. So this is today's update. It seems like the police may have found something. We will stay on top of it. We will find out.
And they put up the crime scene investigation tape. Usually this means that they have blocked off an area and considered it a crime scene, which is actually not good in this case. I think it's something that a lot of people are probably expecting for this to be a recovery mission at this point. With
Unfortunately, that sounds like what it will be. Yeah, it was funny. But this is sad. Again, I personally think it's with the holidays coming up, they would not have been able to explain what was going on. They made a rash decision. I guess we will find out. Grandfather knows what happened. I'm sure the daughter knows what happens. I'm sure as soon as if she survives her injuries, they will get her. We will stay on top of this. We will pray that baby Caleb is found. And yeah, I appreciate you all being here with me this morning. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. I may go live in a little bit with a different topic. There's a few different things I'd like to talk about. So I appreciate all of you. Definitely sending prayers out to the babies whose lives were lost at the hands of these monsters. Shame on CPS for allowing these children to still remain in the same home as their abusive parents. When CPS intercepts, it should be mandatory that they follow up with these children and make sure they're not back in the care of their abusive parents. It seems like that did not happen. Sounds like that did not happen in this case. And here we are now. 2 babies no longer with us. Breaks my heart. I hope you all have a great day as well. Again, sincerely appreciate you all showing up. I know drama sells. People rather go into the same topic 50 million times. Everybody covers the same thing all day long, la-di-da. But I thought it would be nice to put a little, different topic here today. And yeah, I'm very grateful that you all showed up for it. It means a lot to me. So thank you. Maybe we will hit the backup channel and talk about a few things. You all have a great day as well. Thank you. Thank you for putting prayers. Man. Looks like people are already going at Grandma on Facebook. Why weren't you more present? And unfortunately, we don't know. We don't know. We won't know until we know. Baby Evelyn. Oh, that was heartbreaking as well. Let me go take care of my cat that's like a dang toddler and see what she's whining about. All right, guys. I appreciate. Oh, I'll give it to you. Hold on. This channel is strictly drama. So don't expect anything differently over here. I love people who say they're strictly true crime, but they have drama channels. I love that. I'm not strictly true crime, and I do have a drama channel. They're a miserable piece of shit who don't deserve a breath or a word. Yeah, she does lie. Just like she's lying now about her top donators. Well, you know what? We'll cover that on the backup channel, all right? We'll cover that over there. I got a lot to say. I've received a lot of emails. One may even be from the infamous Ben George himself, but who knows? Guess you'll find out in a little bit. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all later. Make sure you sub up, turn on notifications if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys over on the dark side.